November 25, 2025. The world listens as Canada's Prime Minister, Mark Carney, delivers a bold message at the G20 Summit in South Africa. Carney declares the world can thrive without the United States at the center. For decades, the U.S. led global affairs, but Carney signals a shift. Other nations can lead too. At the Johannesburg Summit, he highlights its success despite the U.S. absence, calling it proof that global power is moving and diversifying. Carney says Canada is ready for this new reality, aiming to be strong and independent. He became Prime Minister in 2025, determined to change how Canada interacts globally. For years, Canada relied heavily on the U.S., but Carney sees this as risky. His plan builds new partnerships worldwide, reducing dependence on any single country. Canada's future, he insists, lies in forging ties with Asia, Africa, and Europe. Carney isn't waiting for U.S. approval. He's making new deals and leading by example. His G20 speech marks Canada's first step onto a broader world stage. The message is clear. Canada is ready to lead in a world no longer centered on America. The world is watching as Canada steps forward. This is the dawn of a new era for Canadian foreign policy. The G20 Summit in Johannesburg, November 2025, was historic, the first on African soil. Leaders from major economies gathered to tackle global issues, but the U.S. was absent. President Trump boycotted due to a dispute with South Africa, leaving a conspicuous empty chair. Many doubted the summit's success without the U.S., but the event proved otherwise. South Africa, backed by other nations, released a full declaration despite U.S. objections. This bold move showed the G20 could act independently of American influence. The summit became a symbol of a changing world. Global cooperation without a single dominant power. Prime Minister Carney called it proof of a multipolar world, where power is shared. The Johannesburg Summit will be remembered as the moment the world proved it could function in a new way. The absence of the U.S. did not halt progress. Instead, it opened the door for new leadership and collaboration. The world is learning to work together differently. A new global order is emerging. The G20 unites the world's largest economies: China, India, Germany, Japan, Canada, and more. Even without the U.S., the Johannesburg meeting represented 3/4 of the world's population and 2/3 of global GDP. These nations drive international trade and set the rules that shape global business. The summit allowed leaders to address economic growth, development, technology, and the environment. By reaching consensus, they sent a message of unity and resilience. Prime Minister Carney recognized the opportunity for Canada to lead within the G20. With the U.S. absent, Canada's stable economy and reputation stood out. The summit's success proved the G20's strength lies in collective action, not any single country. The group can shape the future of the global economy together. Canada's voice is now more influential than ever. The G20 is more than a club, it's a force for global change. The world is watching what comes next. Prime Minister Carney is steering Canada away from dependence on the U.S. For decades, Canada's economy was tied to its southern neighbor, but this created risks. Carney's campaign promised to protect Canada's independence and oppose U.S. trade tariffs. Now, as Prime Minister, he's acting on those promises. His strategy: diversification, building trade with many countries, not just one. Carney is clear. His policies won't be dictated by the U.S. He's not seeking conflict, but he's not waiting for American approval either. Canada is negotiating new trade agreements and encouraging investment from new sources. This shift requires Canadian businesses to look beyond traditional markets. The goal: a resilient, secure economy, less vulnerable to U.S. decisions. Carney's government is making this vision a reality. Canada's future depends on global partnerships, not just one powerful neighbor. The country is embracing a new, independent path. Carney's plan means making new friends and landing big deals. After the G20, he met with UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, securing a $50 billion investment in Canada. This massive deal will create jobs and boost Canadian businesses, showing global confidence in Canada's future. Carney also strengthened ties with South Africa, launching talks on an investment protection agreement. This will make it safer for Canadian and South African companies to invest in each other's countries. These moves are proof of Carney's strategy in action. finding new partners beyond the US. Canada is reaching out to the Middle East, Africa, and Asia, showing it's open for business. The UAE investment is a powerful result of this new approach. Canada is no longer focused solely on traditional allies. The world is responding to Canada's openness and ambition. New partnerships are fueling growth and prosperity. Carney's vision is turning into real economic gains. Canada's global network is expanding fast. Carney's vision stretches far beyond North America. He's targeting the Indo-Pacific and Europe, regions with booming economies and vast markets. New trade agreements will help Canadian businesses sell abroad and attract foreign investment. Canada is focusing on strengths like artificial intelligence and energy, seeking new markets for these sectors. Carney wants Canadian companies to compete and win globally. This isn't just about exports. It's about bringing in investment, technology, and jobs. The Indo-Pacific and Europe offer huge opportunities for growth. Canada's economic map is expanding, connecting to cities like Mumbai, Tokyo, and Berlin. This global approach is a major shift from the past. It requires trade missions, complex negotiations, and cultural understanding. The Carney government believes this effort is essential for Canada's future. Power and opportunity are spreading worldwide. Canada is determined to seize them. Canada is also turning its attention to Africa, launching its first-ever Africa strategy in 2025. Africa's young, growing economies offer huge potential for trade and investment. But questions remain about Canada's commitment. No new funding was allocated in the latest budget. Critics worry the strategy is just words without real support. At the same time, Canada is cutting foreign aid by $2.7 billion over 4 years. This includes a 17% reduction to the Global Fund to fight AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria. These cuts have drawn criticism from health experts and aid organizations. Some say it undermines Canada's credibility as a global partner. Carney's government faces tough choices, balancing new economic ambitions with traditional aid commitments. The Africa strategy's success depends on more than promises. It needs real investment. Canada's role in the world is being redefined. The world is watching to see if Canada will back up its words with action. The stakes are high for Canada's global reputation. Building global partnerships isn't always smooth. Canada's relationship with India is a case in point. In 2023, tensions soared after Canada accused Indian agents of involvement in a murder on Canadian soil. India denied the claims, straining ties between the two countries. Yet India is a rising power and key to Carney's diversification strategy. At the G20, Carney met with Prime Minister Modi to reset relations. They agreed to focus on cooperation in trade, investment, and technology. Both countries stand to benefit: Canada's tech expertise, India's vast market. The meeting was a step toward rebuilding trust, but it will take time. Carney's approach shows the importance of diplomacy and difficult conversations. Mending ties with India is crucial for Canada's global ambitions. Even with serious disagreements, countries can find common ground. Carney is proving that leadership means facing challenges head-on. The world is watching Canada's next move. The world of 2025 is shifting. Power is no longer centered on one nation. The G20 Summit proved global cooperation can thrive without the US. For Canada, this new era brings both challenges and opportunities. Carney's foreign policy is bold: diversify trade, build new alliances, and claim a confident place on the world stage. The UAE investment is early proof the strategy can work. But challenges remain: managing tough relationships, facing criticism over aid cuts, and proving the Africa strategy is more than talk. Canada must show it's a reliable partner to both new allies and old friends. The story of Canada's new direction is just beginning. The world is watching to see if others will follow Canada's lead, or if the US will re-engage. One thing is certain: the global landscape has changed. Canada's actions today are shaping tomorrow's world. Power is now shared, and cooperation is more important than ever. The future belongs to those ready to lead in a new era.